Welcome back to Switch Top. Today we're counting down the top 20 best games on the Nintendo Switch 2. These are the titles that make this console absolutely worth owning. Let's jump right in. REANIMAL is a cinematic survival horror adventure that blends stealth, puzzle solving, and exploration into a tense, story-driven experience where you control two orphan siblings navigating a disturbing, decayed island. Gameplay revolves around cooperation, whether played solo with AI or in co-op, as many puzzles require coordinated actions, like moving objects, activating mechanisms, and timing escapes, while avoiding grotesque creatures that cannot always be fought directly. The core loop focuses on sneaking, hiding, and solving environmental challenges, rather than combat, creating constant tension as you move through eerie locations filled with symbolic details and hidden paths. Exploration is semi-non-linear, with both on-foot traversal and boat navigation adding variety and a sense of scale to the world. The shared camera system keeps both characters in frame, intensifying immersion and reinforcing the emotional bond between them. Storytelling is mostly environmental, revealing fragments of their past and the island's corruption through atmosphere, level design, and haunting encounters, resulting in a slow, unsettling narrative that prioritizes mood, psychological tension, and emotional survival over traditional action. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is an action RPG that blends real-time combat with tactical decision-making, creating a combat system that feels both fast and strategic. Players control one party member at a time, while freely switching between characters during battles, using basic attacks to build ATB gauges that power abilities, spells, and items through a slowed tactical menu system that adds depth without interrupting the flow. Exploration is semi-linear through detailed districts of Midgar, with side quests, minigames, and character-driven interactions that expand the world and pacing. Character progression revolves around weapons, gear upgrades, and the materia system, allowing flexible builds and playstyles depending on how you customize magic and abilities. The story follows Cloud Strife and the Avalanche Group as they challenge the Shinra Corporation in a reimagined version of the original narrative, focusing heavily on character development, cinematic storytelling, and emotional moments rather than rushing the plot.
Oh, we're done here.
Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a classic JRPG that's all about world building and character development done right. You follow Estelle and Joshua as rookie bracers, basically adventurers for hire who help people across the nation of Liberl with all kinds of problems. The turn-based combat uses a grid system where positioning matters and you can chain attacks with party members for devastating combos. What sets this apart is how every NPC has their own life and dialogue that changes as the story progresses, making the world feel genuinely alive. The Orbiment system lets you slot elemental quartz to learn spells and boost stats, giving you deep customization options. Story-wise, it starts slow with smaller missions, but gradually builds into this intricate political thriller with twists that completely reframe everything. The pacing is deliberate, taking time to make you care about characters before pulling the rug out from under you in the best ways.
You're mine.
This is the end!
This is dangerous.
Octopath Traveler 0 builds on the series' HD 2D foundation with a refined, turn-based combat system centered around the break and boost mechanics, where exploiting enemy weaknesses and timing-enhanced actions creates a satisfying strategic rhythm in every battle. The game introduces larger party management, allowing players to organize multiple characters with distinct roles, skills, and weapon types, encouraging deeper team synergy and flexible combat approaches. Progression is heavily tied to character customization, equipment, and skill development, giving players freedom to shape their playstyle based on preferred strategies and elemental coverage. Exploration spans diverse regions filled with towns, dungeons, and side activities, but a major gameplay layer comes from rebuilding the protagonist's hometown, where gathering resources, recruiting allies, and upgrading facilities provide long-term progression and meaningful rewards.
I've got it! Be strong. Time to strike. That's enough. My turn. Concentrate.
Hades 2 is an isometric, roguelike action RPG built around fast, responsive combat and a strong progression loop that rewards experimentation across repeated runs. Players control Millenoway, who uses a mix of melee strikes, ranged magic, and charged Omega abilities that add a tactical layer to encounters, requiring smart timing, positioning, and resource management during intense battles. Each escape attempt features procedurally arranged areas filled with enemies, mini-bosses, and branching paths, while boons from various Olympian gods dynamically shape builds and encourage different playstyles through unique synergies and upgrades. Between runs, players return to a central hub, where gathered resources are used to unlock new weapons, incantations, and permanent enhancements that steadily expand gameplay depth. The story unfolds gradually through dialogue and interactions, following Millenoway's journey to confront Kronos and restore balance to the underworld, with narrative progression seamlessly tied to each run, making every failure and success feel meaningful, while deepening character relationships and the overarching mythological narrative. Dynasty Warriors Origins delivers a large-scale hack-and-slash experience centered on massive, real-time battles, where players face huge enemy armies across expansive battlefields. Combat focuses on fluid combo chains, charged attacks, dodges, parries, and weapon-specific skills that add more depth and control compared to traditional Musou gameplay, while a special resource system powers powerful battle arts and abilities for crowd control and duels against officers. Beyond pure action, players can issue tactical commands to allied units, influence frontline momentum, and react to dynamic battlefield events, creating a blend of fast combat and light strategy. Character progression includes weapon mastery, skill upgrades, equipment customization, and relationship bonds with iconic officers who can support you during missions. The story follows an original amnesiac protagonist navigating the turbulent Three Kingdoms era, experiencing key conflicts and forging alliances with different factions, with a more personal narrative approach that focuses on memory, loyalty, and perspective while retelling major historical events through a character-driven lens.
We strive to rescue all who are oppressed.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is a first-person open-world RPG set in Night City, where you play as V, a customizable mercenary whose attributes, cyberware, and choices shape both combat style and narrative direction. Gameplay is highly build-driven, letting you combine gunplay, melee combat, stealth, and advanced hacking through quick hacks that manipulate enemies and the environment. Skill trees and perks support distinct approaches, whether you prefer silent infiltration, aggressive firefights, or tech-focused netrunning. Exploration plays a major role, with dense urban districts filled with side gigs, character-driven quests, vehicles, and branching mission outcomes that react to your decisions. Progression revolves around upgrading cybernetic implants, weapons, and abilities to refine your playstyle. The story follows a failed heist that leaves V linked to the digital consciousness of Johnny Silverhand, triggering a personal struggle for survival while navigating power struggles, corporate control, and themes of identity and mortality in a dystopian future.
The target out under fire, and definitely don't want to slow in your back.
Well,
Not neither.
one shot, one bite. У меня для тебя подарок. Я его зацепил! B, watch it!
Mario Tennis Fever delivers a fast-paced arcade tennis experience that mixes traditional shot mechanics with dynamic, over-the-top gameplay elements designed to keep rallies unpredictable and engaging. Players use a variety of shot types like topspin, slice, lobs, and precise positioning, while the standout Fever racket system introduces special shots and unique effects that can shift momentum during matches and add a strategic layer beyond standard tennis play. Each character features distinct stats and playstyles, encouraging different approaches in both solo and multiplayer modes, whether focusing on speed, power, or technique. The game includes multiple modes such as tournaments, challenges, and customizable rule sets that increase replayability and variety. Progression is tied to improving skills, unlocking content, and mastering advanced mechanics through increasingly difficult matches. The story is presented through a light adventure-style mode, where familiar characters face unusual challenges that push them to relearn and refine their abilities, keeping the narrative playful while maintaining the core focus on competitive and accessible gameplay.
Swap between newly added defensive actions and increased offensive moves on the court. In addition, Swing Mode lets you gently swing your Joy-Con 2 controller like a racket for a more intuitive experience. You can even use fever shots.
Persona 3 Reload is a hybrid JRPG that combines turn-based dungeon crawling with life simulation, creating a structured loop where players manage daily activities and nighttime exploration. During the day, you attend school, build social links, and improve social stats through various activities, which directly enhance character growth and unlock new abilities in combat. At night, gameplay shifts to exploring Tartarus, a towering dungeon filled with shadows, where battles focus on exploiting enemy weaknesses, coordinating party actions, and triggering all-out attacks for high damage. The combat system is more fluid and tactical, featuring modernized mechanics like turn passing and improved skill management that encourage team synergy and strategic planning. The story follows a transfer student who joins a specialized group of Persona users investigating the mysterious Dark Hour, a hidden time period where supernatural threats emerge, with the narrative unfolding gradually through character interactions, emotional themes, and a calendar-driven structure that emphasizes relationships, personal growth, and the psychological weight of facing an unseen danger.
Quickly. Too bad. Excellent. You avoided it.
Persona!
Wow, enemy down. Keep that up, Iori. Good. One less to worry about. Time to shine.
Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is a classic turn-based JRPG, rebuilt with modernized mechanics, streamlined pacing, and a distinctive diorama-style world that emphasizes exploration, storytelling, and strategic progression. Combat remains traditional and tactical, focusing on turn order, skill usage, and party coordination, but introduces updated systems like dual vocations and vocational perks that allow characters to mix classes and create flexible builds with synergistic abilities. Encounters now feature visible enemies in the field and quality-of-life improvements such as faster battles and more accessible mechanics, making progression smoother while preserving the series' strategic depth. Exploration revolves around traveling between islands and time periods using mysterious fragments that unlock portals to the past, where players solve regional crises to restore lost lands in the present. The story follows a young hero and childhood friends who discover a shrine that sends them through time, uncovering that entire civilizations were sealed away by a malevolent force, leading to a long-form narrative told through episodic arcs that gradually build into a larger, world-saving journey focused on mystery, world restoration, and character growth. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a fast-paced 2D roguelike action platformer that emphasizes fluid movement, skill-based combat, and replay-driven progression. Core gameplay revolves around agile parkour mechanics such as wall running, vaulting, sliding, and chaining acrobatic moves to navigate procedurally structured levels filled with traps, enemies, and environmental hazards. Combat is quick and responsive, combining melee attacks, dodges, kicks, and a variety of weapons and gadgets that can be adapted mid-run to suit different situations and playstyles. Each run follows a roguelite loop, where defeat sends the prince back to a central hub, but collected resources unlock permanent upgrades, new abilities, and equipment that steadily expand gameplay depth and survivability. Level layouts and encounters shift between runs, encouraging experimentation and mastery of movement and combat systems. The story follows the prince as he tries to save Persia from a catastrophic invasion caused by his own actions, with a magical time loop mechanic that ties narrative progression to repeated runs, gradually revealing lore, character growth, and the consequences of his mistakes. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is a large-scale action hack-and-slash game that follows the Musou-style formula, placing players in massive battles against waves of enemies across expansive, objective-based battlefields. Gameplay focuses on chaining light and heavy combos, dodging, counters, and unleashing powerful special attacks, while each playable character features a distinct moveset and unique abilities that encourage strategic switching depending on the situation. Battles are not just about defeating enemies, but also capturing outposts, protecting allies, and reacting to dynamic battlefield events that constantly shift mission flow. The game integrates Zelda-inspired mechanics such as special abilities, coordinated ally actions, and resource-based skills that add more tactical depth to combat. Progression includes unlocking characters, upgrading weapons, and enhancing abilities to refine different playstyles. The story is set during the ancient Imprisoning War, following Princess Zelda as she travels to the past and joins forces with key figures of early Hyrule to resist Ganondorf's rise, blending large-scale warfare with lore-driven storytelling and character-focused narrative moments. Kirby Air Riders is an arcade-style racing and action game that blends high-speed races, arena battles, and exploration-focused modes into a varied gameplay experience built around accessibility and depth. Players choose a rider and a unique air ride machine, each with different stats and handling, while vehicles move forward automatically, letting you focus on steering, boosting, drifting, and using special abilities strategically during chaotic races and battles. Combat elements are integrated through spin attacks, copy abilities, and a special gauge that fills through aggressive play, allowing powerful moves that can disrupt opponents and shift momentum mid-match. Multiple modes, including traditional races, city-based trials, and challenge-driven story content, add variety and replayability, with large multiplayer support and customization systems for machines and cosmetics. The story mode follows the rise of mysterious machines on planet Popstar, and the conflict tied to a sentient machine and a looming destructive force, unfolding through challenges and character interactions while maintaining a light, adventurous tone that complements the fast, competitive gameplay and whimsical world design.
Final lap.
Hollow Knight Silksong is a 2D Metroidvania focused on fast, precise platforming, fluid combat, and exploration across a vast, interconnected world. Players control Hornet, whose movement is more agile and acrobatic, featuring abilities like grappling, aerial mobility, wall traversal, and rapid dashes that open new paths and secrets as the adventure progresses. Combat is quicker and more aggressive, built around swift melee strikes, specialized tools, and silk-powered skills that rely on a resource gauge used for healing or powerful techniques, adding a tactical layer to encounters. The game introduces a crafting and equipment system with customizable tools and crests that shape playstyle, encouraging experimentation and strategic builds. Exploration remains core to the experience, with diverse biomes, hidden shortcuts, side quests, and challenging bosses that reward mastery of movement and combat mechanics. The story follows Hornet after she is taken to the mysterious kingdom of Farloom, where she begins a perilous ascent through haunted regions, uncovering ancient secrets and confronting a spreading silk-driven corruption through environmental storytelling and character encounters. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster is a classic turn-based JRPG centered on the strategic Brave and Default system, which lets players store turns for defense or spend multiple actions at once for high-risk, high-reward attacks. Combat heavily rewards planning, turn management, and party synergy, especially through its deep job system that allows characters to switch classes, inherit abilities, and create flexible builds tailored to different strategies. Exploration follows a traditional structure across towns, dungeons, and a world map set in the fantasy land of Luxendark, with side quests, optional bosses, and character events that expand progression and world building. Customization plays a major role, as equipment, job levels, and ability combinations shape each character's role in battle. The story follows Tiz, Agnes, Ringabel, and Edia on a journey to restore the elemental crystals and bring balance back to the world, gradually revealing deeper mysteries, political tensions, and hidden truths through a long-form narrative that emphasizes teamwork, sacrifice, and the evolving bonds between the main cast. Mario Kart World is an arcade-style racing game that evolves the classic Mario Kart formula with a massive open-world structure, seamless track connections, and expanded multiplayer races featuring up to 24 drivers at once. Core gameplay still revolves around drifting, boosting, item usage, and precise steering. But new mechanics like rail grinding, wall jumping, off-road traversal, and even vehicle transitions such as boats add more dynamic movement and skill expression during races. A major addition is the interconnected world design, where players can drive between courses instead of selecting isolated tracks, alongside a free roam mode that allows exploration, missions, collectibles, and photo opportunities across diverse environments like cities, plains, and volcanic regions. The Knockout Tour mode introduces long survival-style races, where racers are gradually eliminated at checkpoints, increasing tension and competitive depth. Progression includes unlocking characters, costumes, and mastering different vehicles and routes. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is an open-world action-adventure brawler set in detailed city districts, where players switch between Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, each featuring distinct combat styles that balance speed, power, and technique. Combat is real-time and highly dynamic, allowing players to chain combos, use environmental objects, and trigger cinematic heat actions that add impact and variety to encounters. Progression is tied to upgrading abilities through money and skill systems, encouraging different playstyles and strategic growth as fights become more demanding. Outside of combat, the game offers dense exploration filled with sub-stories, side activities, and mini-games that enhance immersion and world depth while maintaining a steady gameplay rhythm. The Director's Cut expands the experience with additional scenes and extra content that further develop the narrative and characters. The story follows Kiryu and Majima through interconnected arcs revolving around a mysterious vacant lot and a larger power struggle within the criminal underworld, focusing on themes of loyalty, ambition, and personal identity through a dramatic, character-driven narrative. The Legend of Heroes: Trails Beyond the Horizon is a narrative-driven JRPG that blends real-time field combat with traditional turn-based battles, creating a hybrid system that rewards both quick reactions and careful strategy. Players can engage enemies directly in real time before transitioning into tactical encounters, where positioning, turn order, and coordinated party skills play a crucial role. Combat depth is expanded through systems like awakening abilities, shard commands, and special enhancements that allow temporary power boosts and combo-focused tactics. Exploration spans detailed regions filled with side quests, investigations, bonding events, and dungeons that strengthen character relationships and progression. The game features multiple protagonists and shifting perspectives, encouraging players to experience interconnected story paths that gradually converge. The story follows Van Arkride and other key figures as major political tensions and technological ambitions rise across the continent, unfolding a slow-burn narrative focused on world-building, character dynamics, and overarching mysteries tied to the future of Zemuria. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake reimagines the classic turn-based JRPG formula with modern presentation while preserving its strategic, methodical combat and exploration-focused structure. Battles remain traditional and menu-driven, emphasizing careful resource management, spell usage, and tactical decision-making rather than fast reflexes, with updated visuals and smoother pacing that make encounters feel more dynamic without losing their classic depth. Exploration plays a central role, featuring interconnected overworld maps, towns, dungeons, and hidden secrets that encourage curiosity and steady progression. Character growth revolves around leveling, equipment upgrades, and learning new spells that expand combat options and survivability. The story follows the legacy of the Erdrick lineage across 2 connected adventures, where heroes rise to confront spreading darkness threatening their world, blending simple but meaningful storytelling with themes of courage, destiny, and heroism, while gradually building a larger narrative through world exploration and character-driven moments. Donkey Kong Bananza is a 3D action platformer focused on sandbox-style exploration, environmental interaction, and physics-driven gameplay across massive, layered worlds. The core mechanics revolve around Donkey Kong's strength, allowing players to smash terrain, dig through environments, break obstacles, and use objects as tools for traversal, puzzle solving, and combat, creating a highly dynamic and interactive gameplay loop. Movement blends classic platforming with new abilities and transformations that expand mobility and open alternative paths, encouraging experimentation and discovery rather than strictly linear progression. Levels are designed as expansive biomes filled with collectibles, secrets, and hidden routes that reward curiosity and exploration. Combat is chaotic and satisfying, centered on melee attacks, environmental destruction, and special powered forms that enhance abilities during intense encounters. The story follows Donkey Kong and Pauline as they venture deep into an underground world to recover stolen Banandium gems and restore balance, delivering a lighthearted adventure that emphasizes exploration, teamwork, and progression through vibrant, interconnected environments. And there you have it, the top 20 games that make the Nintendo Switch 2 an absolute must-own console. What games are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content.